August Murray leaned back in his worn leather chair, the quiet of his home office a stark contrast to the chaos of his thoughts. The soft light filtering through the blinds cast elongated shadows on the walls, as if the very room was trying to obscure the unsettling truths lurking within it. The papers scattered across his desk were a mix of legal briefs and divorce documents, reminders of his tumultuous battle with his wife, Maya. Since the court battle began, August had been increasingly suspicious of Maya's behavior. Small inconsistencies that once seemed insignificant now stood out glaringly. It wasn't until that rainy Wednesday morning that the first real crack in his perception emerged. Maya had been acting differently for weeks. It started with minor things: her sudden need to work late, frequent phone calls she took outside, and a peculiar new habit of leaving her phone face down on the kitchen counter. August brushed it off initially, attributing it to stress from the divorce. But as the days passed, his unease grew. It was on that rainy morning, as August was heading to work, that he noticed something odd. Maya's car, a sleek silver sedan, was parked in a spot it didn't belong, right in front of the local coffee shop, where she had claimed she was meeting a colleague. August knew Maya's schedule well. She was supposed to be at a client meeting. A quick glance at his watch confirmed the timing didn't match up. He paused for a moment, staring at the car, and then turned on his heel, deciding to follow her. He entered the coffee shop with a practiced casualness, scanning the room for any sign of Maya. She was seated in a corner, her back turned to the entrance, but it wasn't just Maya who caught his attention. Sitting across from her was a man August had seen before, though he couldn't quite place him. Their conversation was animated, punctuated by laughter that seemed out of place in August's troubled mind. August ordered a coffee and took a seat at a table that afforded him a clear view of Maya's. As he sipped his drink, he tried to catch snippets of their conversation, but the murmur of the coffee shop made it difficult. His eyes flicked over to the man, tall, with a neatly trimmed beard and sharp features. August's suspicion grew. He recognized him as Ari Sanders, a local architect who had been making headlines for various projects. The scene in the coffee shop planted a seed of doubt in August's mind. He wondered if there was more to Maya's late nights and odd behavior. That afternoon, back at home, August pored over their shared calendar. He noticed entries that Maya had added recently, appointments and events that didn't seem to fit her usual routine. One in particular stood out: a meeting with an unknown contact at a hotel in town. As August grappled with his mounting suspicions, Maya arrived home later than usual, her demeanor tight and defensive. They exchanged curt pleasantries, and August couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. His mind raced with questions as he prepared for bed. The next day, August decided to confront Maya about his growing unease. The tension in their conversations had reached a boiling point, and he could no longer ignore the red flags. That evening, after their daughter had gone to bed, August broached the subject. "August, Maya, we need to talk. I've been noticing some things that don't add up." Maya, fidgeting with her ring. "What do you mean?" "August, you've been working late a lot lately, and I saw you with Ari Sanders at the coffee shop. What's going on?" Maya's face paled, and she avoided eye contact, her fingers gripping the edge of the table. "Maya, it's not what you think, August. Ari and I are just discussing some potential business ventures. You know how it is." August, voice rising. "Business ventures? At a coffee shop? And what about the hotel meetings? Don't you think you owe me an explanation?" Maya, standing up, agitated. "I don't have to explain myself to you. I'm trying to move on, and you're just making things worse." August's heart pounded in his chest as Maya stormed out of the room. He was left with a gnawing sense of betrayal. The facade of normalcy was cracking, and the small, seemingly insignificant details were beginning to weave together into a disturbing pattern. As August settled into a restless sleep that night, the storm outside mirrored the turmoil within him. The small details, the odd phone calls, unexplained absences, and now the presence of Ari Sanders, were no longer just quirks. They were pieces of a larger puzzle he was determined to solve, no matter the cost. In the days that followed, August delved deeper into Maya's activities. Each new piece of information, however small, seemed to confirm his growing suspicion that something was fundamentally wrong. The web of deceit spun by those he once trusted was beginning to unravel, and August knew that the road ahead would be fraught with emotional and legal battles. The pursuit of truth and justice had only just begun, and August was resolute in uncovering the full extent of the deception that had shaken his world. The chill of the Vermont morning wrapped around August as he trudged to his office. The picturesque town was still sleeping, its streets blanketed in a quiet layer of snow that seemed to reflect the turmoil within him. His mind buzzed with the confrontation from the night before and the unresolved mysteries surrounding Maya and Ari Sanders. August arrived at his law office early, hoping to find solace in his work. The office, with its high ceilings and polished mahogany furniture, offered a stark contrast to the chaos of his personal life. But as he settled into his chair and began reviewing case files, his thoughts kept drifting back to Maya's evasive behavior. The ringing of the phone jolted August from his thoughts. It was Ellen Turner, his colleague and close friend. Her voice was warm, but August could detect a note of hesitation. "Good morning, August. I hope I'm not interrupting," Ellen said. "Not at all, Ellen. What's up?" August asked, trying to keep his tone casual. "I was hoping we could meet for lunch today. There's something I need to discuss with you, and I think it's important." August agreed, feeling a flicker of curiosity. Ellen had always been a source of support, but the urgency in her voice made him uneasy. He suspected it had something to do with his recent troubles, and the thought gnawed at him. As the clock neared noon, August arrived at the small, cozy cafe where he and Ellen had agreed to meet. The place was a sanctuary from the cold, with its warm lighting and comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Ellen was already there, seated at a corner table, looking more serious than usual. "You sounded urgent on the phone. What's going on?" August asked as he joined her. Ellen took a deep breath, her eyes searching his face as if weighing how much to reveal. "I've been meaning to tell you something, August. It's about Maya." August's heart skipped a beat. The mention of Maya always sent his mind spiraling into a web of confusion and frustration. "What about Maya?" he pressed. "I've seen her with Ari Sanders more often than she's let on. I didn't want to be the one to bring it up, but I think you need to know." August's face grew pale as he absorbed Ellen's words. He took a sip of his coffee to steady himself. "Are you saying you think there's something going on between them?" August asked, his voice tight with controlled emotion. "I'm not sure. I've seen them together at various places, always in private settings. It just seemed odd, especially given the circumstances. I thought you should know." The revelation hit August like a ton of bricks. He had suspected an affair, but hearing it from Ellen made it feel all the more real. He tried to keep his composure, but felt a storm of emotions raging within him. "Thank you for telling me, Ellen. I don't know how to process this right now, but I appreciate your honesty," August said, trying to sound steady. Ellen nodded, her expression sympathetic. "I'm here if you need to talk, or if there's anything else I can do. Just be careful." As August left the cafe, the weight of Ellen's revelation settled heavily on his shoulders. He felt a mix of anger, sadness, and determination. He had to uncover the truth about Maya and Ari, no matter how painful it might be. Back at his office, August's thoughts were interrupted by a knock on his door. It was Claire Johnson, a fellow attorney and an old acquaintance. Claire's appearance was unexpected, and her businesslike demeanor suggested she had a specific reason for visiting. "August, do you have a moment?" Claire asked, her voice brisk. "Of course, Claire. What brings you here?" August replied, sensing the gravity in her tone. Claire took a seat across from August, her eyes scanning the room as if assessing the situation. "I've been hearing some rumors about Maya and Ari Sanders. Given the nature of your current situation, I thought you might want to know that Aries been known for his questionable ethics. I don't have concrete evidence, but it's something to consider, Claire said, leaning forward. August's mind raced as he processed Claire's words. The connections between Maya and Aries were becoming clearer, and the extent of the deception seemed more sinister. Thanks for the heads up, Claire. I'm already suspicious about their relationship, but this adds another layer to the puzzle, August said, his voice steady but tinged with concern. Just be cautious. Sometimes things aren't always as they seem, and it's important to approach this with care, Claire advised, standing up. With Claire's warning echoing in his mind, August's resolve hardened. The secrets and lies surrounding Maya and Aries were beginning to unravel, but the full extent of their deceit was still unclear. As the day drew to a close, August found himself at home, staring at the pile of legal documents on his desk. The reality of his situation was sinking in. Maya's betrayal, coupled with Aries' questionable ethics, painted a grim picture. The fight for justice was far from over, and August knew that navigating this treacherous path would require every ounce of his strength and determination. The snow continued to fall outside, a silent witness to the unraveling drama within August's life. The small details he had once dismissed now formed a chilling narrative of deception and betrayal. As he prepared for another sleepless night, August steeled himself for the challenges ahead. The battle for truth was just beginning, and he was ready to face whatever revelations awaited him. The snow outside had intensified, creating a white veil over the small Vermont town. August Murray stared out of his office window, the falling flakes mirroring the tumultuous thoughts in his mind. His recent conversations with Ellen and Claire had confirmed his fears. Maya's actions were more than just erratic behavior. He needed to dig deeper, and he was prepared to go to great lengths to uncover the truth. Determined, August began his meticulous investigation. He spent the morning reviewing every detail he had gathered. Unusual phone call records, Maya's erratic calendar entries, and even the suspicious encounters at the coffee shop. His mind raced with connections and possibilities. He decided to start with surveillance. He reached out to James Corbin, a private investigator he had used in the past. James was a seasoned professional, known for his thorough work. They met at a discreet cafe, away from prying eyes. "James, I need your help," August said, sliding a manila folder across the table. "I suspect my wife, Maya, is involved in something serious with a man named Aries Sanders. I want to know if there's more to it." James opened the folder and glanced at the contents. "All right, August. I'll start by tracking Maya's movements and interactions. If there's a secret affair, we'll find it." August nodded, feeling a mix of relief and anxiety. "I appreciate it. I just need to know what's really going on." James promised to provide detailed reports and evidence as soon as he had something concrete. With the matter in James's capable hands, August turned his attention to another lead. Claire's mention of questionable ethics surrounding Aries Sanders had intrigued him. August decided to follow up on it by visiting Aries' architectural firm. The firm's sleek modern design was a stark contrast to the turmoil August felt inside. He introduced himself to the receptionist and requested a meeting with Aries. After a brief wait, Aries appeared, his demeanor polished and confident. "Aries Sanders, how can I assist you?" Aries asked, his smile a bit too practiced. August shook his hand firmly. "Mr. Sanders, I'm August Murray. I've been hearing some concerning things about your professional conduct. I'd like to discuss them with you." Aries' smile faltered slightly, but he gestured for August to follow him to a conference room. Once seated, Aries leaned forward, trying to maintain his composure. "I'm not sure what you've heard, but I assure you that my work is above board. Any allegations you've heard are baseless," Aries said, his tone defensive. August scrutinized Aries, trying to gauge the truth behind his words. "It's come to my attention that you've been involved in some dubious dealings. I'm just trying to understand the nature of your connections." Aries' eyes narrowed, but he kept his cool. "I don't know where you're getting your information, but it's not accurate. I suggest you focus on your own issues rather than spreading rumors." With the conversation ending on a tense note, August left the firm, his mind racing. The encounter with Ari had been unsettling, but it only fueled his determination to uncover the truth. Back at home that evening, August reviewed the surveillance updates James had sent. The reports detailed Maya's recent activities, including a series of meetings at a local clinic, a place August had never heard of before. Alongside the reports were photographs showing Maya and a doctor engaged in what seemed like intimate conversations. August's heart sank as he studied the evidence. The doctor's name was Dr. Robert Hale, a well-respected physician in town. It seemed that Maya's secret affair went beyond Ari Sanders. The photographs painted a clear picture of an ongoing hidden relationship. Feeling a surge of resolve, August decided to confront Maya about the new developments. He waited until after dinner, when their daughter was asleep, and then approached Maya, who was sitting in the living room, reading a book. "Maya, we need to talk," August said, his voice firm but calm. Maya looked up, her expression wary. "What's this about now?" August handed her a few of the photographs and documents. "I've been gathering information about your recent activities. It appears that you've been seeing Dr. Hale as well." Maya's face flushed with a mixture of guilt and anger. She set the documents aside, her hands trembling. "Maya, is there something you want to explain?" August asked, his tone edged with frustration. Maya's eyes were downcast as she struggled to find the right words. "August, I didn't mean for you to find out this way. It's complicated." "Complicated?" August echoed, incredulous. "You've been having an affair with Dr. Hale and Ari Sanders. How is that complicated? It's straightforward betrayal." Maya's eyes filled with tears. "I was trying to find something, anything, beyond this mess. I made mistakes, but it wasn't meant to hurt you like this." August's heart ached with a mixture of anger and sadness. "You need to understand the impact of your actions. This isn't just about us anymore. There are serious consequences to all of this." Maya nodded, unable to meet his gaze. "I know. I'm sorry." August took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the situation. The evidence was clear, and the betrayal was undeniable. As he turned away, he knew that the next steps would involve confronting Dr. Hale and continuing to build his case. The fight for justice and truth was far from over, but August was resolute. The early winter sun cast a pale light across the small Vermont town, but inside August Murray's home, darkness seemed to loom over every corner. The revelations from the previous night weighed heavily on him, and he knew that the next steps would require more than just determination. They would demand tactical precision and emotional resilience. The first order of business was to confront Dr. Robert Hale. August had gathered enough evidence to make a compelling case, and he was prepared to use it. He scheduled a meeting with Hale under the pretense of discussing a legal matter. When the day came, August walked into Hale's upscale office, his resolve unwavering. "Dr. Hale, thanks for meeting with me," August said, shaking Hale's hand firmly. "I've come to discuss a matter of mutual concern." Hale's demeanor was polished, but August could sense the tension in his body language. "What can I do for you, Mr. Murray?" August took out a file and placed it on the desk. "I'm aware of your involvement with my estranged wife, Maya. I have photographic evidence and detailed records of your meetings." Hale's eyes widened slightly, but he quickly composed himself. "I'm not sure what you're implying, but I assure you, my professional conduct is above reproach." "Professional conduct," August said, leaning in. "This isn't just about professional boundaries. It's about personal betrayal and ethical misconduct." Hale's expression shifted to one of frustration. "I can't discuss personal matters in this setting. You're crossing a line." August's gaze was steely. "I'm here to make it clear that I'm not backing down. You can either address this openly or face the consequences." As August left Hale's office, he felt a surge of both satisfaction and anxiety. He had made his position clear, but he knew that Hale and Maya might retaliate with counter schemes. Back at his office, August received an unexpected call from Jonathan Blake, a former colleague and rival lawyer who had been somewhat distant over the years. Jonathan's voice was cautious but sincere. "August, I've heard about the situation you're in. I might have some information that could help," Jonathan said, his tone surprising August. August was skeptical but intrigued. "What kind of information?" Jonathan hesitated before speaking. "I've been in touch with some people who work with Dr. Hale. There have been whispers about unethical practices and personal conflicts. If you're willing to hear me out, I could provide some insight." Grateful but cautious, August agreed to meet Jonathan. They arranged to meet in a secluded cafe, away from prying eyes. Jonathan arrived with a stack of documents and a serious expression. "I wasn't sure if I should get involved, but seeing how far things have gone, I thought you deserved to know," Jonathan said, sliding the documents across the table. "These include some internal communications and reports about Hale's questionable activities." August reviewed the documents, noting evidence of Hale's unethical behavior and questionable financial dealings. The information was invaluable and provided a stronger foundation for his case. "I appreciate this, Jonathan. Why are you helping me?" August asked, genuinely curious. Jonathan looked down, a hint of regret in his eyes. "Let's just say that sometimes personal issues intersect with professional ones. I've been where you are, and I know how important it is to have support." As August left the cafe, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. With the new evidence and support from Jonathan, he was ready for the final confrontation with Maya. That evening, August arranged a meeting with Maya at their home. The tension was palpable as they sat across from each other, the weight of their actions hanging heavily in the air. "Maya, we need to talk," August began, his voice firm yet tinged with a note of sadness. Maya looked at him with weary eyes, her defenses crumbling. "What more is there to say? I know I've made mistakes." August pulled out the documents and photographs he had obtained from Jonathan. "I've gathered evidence of your affair with Dr. Hale and the deceit surrounding it. This isn't just about our personal lives anymore. It's about ethical and legal boundaries." Maya's face went pale as she looked at the evidence. Her hands trembled as she tried to speak. "August, I never meant for things to get this far. I thought I could handle it." But August's voice softened, though his eyes remained resolute. "It's too late for apologies. The consequences of your actions are significant, and there are going to be legal repercussions." Maya's tears started to flow, her composure breaking down. "I was trying to find something that made me feel alive again. I didn't think it would all unravel like this. I'm so sorry, August." Seeing her emotional breakdown, August felt a pang of empathy but remained focused. "I hope you understand the impact of your choices. It's important to take responsibility." As Maya broke down, August felt the weight of their broken relationship and the toll it had taken on both their lives. The confrontation had revealed the depth of her remorse, but it also underscored the gravity of the situation. August knew that the next steps would involve navigating the legal consequences and dealing with the fallout of Maya's actions. He had gathered the evidence and support needed to confront the truth, but the emotional and personal ramifications were still unfolding. The snow outside continued to fall, blanketing the town in a serene silence, contrasted sharply with the tumultuous emotions inside August's home. The scandal involving August Murray and his estranged wife, Maya, had become a topic of local discussion, leading to widespread speculation and concern. August had spent weeks preparing for the final stages of his battle, meticulously piecing together the last fragments of evidence to reveal the full extent of the deceit. August sat in his office, reviewing the final details before the public revelation. He had been working closely with his legal team, compiling all the evidence against Maya and Dr. Hale. The small details, unusual transactions, incriminating messages, and hidden meetings had accumulated to form a damning case. With the culmination of this work, he was prepared to clear his name and seek justice. The day of the press conference arrived, and August stood before a sea of reporters and cameras. The weight of the past months bore down on him, but he was resolute. He took a deep breath and began to address the crowd. "Thank you for coming," August said, his voice steady. "I stand before you today not only to clear my name, but to bring to light the truth behind a series of deeply troubling events. Through a meticulous investigation, we have uncovered the full extent of the deceit involving my estranged wife, Maya Murray, and Dr. Robert Hale." As August detailed the revelations, ranging from financial misconduct to the secret affair, gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd. The scandal was unfolding in real time, with August's clear and methodical presentation leaving no room for doubt. The exposure of the affair and the unethical practices had dramatic consequences for both Maya and Dr. Hale, leading to immediate repercussions in their personal and professional lives. Maya, who had been present in the audience, sat with her head bowed, her face a mask of resignation and regret. The public exposure of her actions was a devastating blow, and the fallout from the scandal was palpable. Later that evening, August received a phone call from Ellen Turner, who had been a steadfast supporter throughout his ordeal. Her voice was warm with relief and joy. "August, I just wanted to say how proud I am of you. You've managed to navigate through all this with such grace and determination," Ellen said, her tone filled with admiration. "Thank you, Ellen. I couldn't have done it without your support. It's been a challenging journey, but I'm finally seeing some resolution," August replied, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. Ellen hesitated before continuing. "I've been thinking, it might be time for us to take a step forward. We've been through so much together, and I'd like to explore where this could lead." August's heart skipped a beat. He had grown close to Ellen over the months, and her support had been a source of comfort. "Are you suggesting?" Ellen's voice softened. "Yes, August. I think it's time we see where our connection could take us. After everything that's happened, it feels like the right moment." As August considered Ellen's words, he felt a glimmer of hope and excitement for the future. The end of one chapter was leading to the beginning of another. The weeks that followed were filled with a mix of personal and professional changes. August's legal career experienced a renaissance as his reputation was restored and his work garnered new respect. The public revelation had cleared his name and exposed the wrongdoing of those who had tried to bring him down. In the midst of these changes, August and Ellen's relationship blossomed into something deep and meaningful. They spent time together, sharing their experiences and building a foundation for their future. The romantic new beginning brought August a sense of fulfillment he had longed for after the trials he had endured. One sunny afternoon, August gathered with his daughter and a close group of friends and family at a local park for a small celebration. The atmosphere was filled with joy and warmth as August looked around at the people who had stood by him throughout his ordeal. His daughter, now thriving in her new environment, beamed with happiness. August felt a surge of pride and relief as he watched her play with her new friends. The support from his family and community had played a crucial role in his journey, and the sense of unity was palpable. Ellen joined him at the park, her presence a comforting reminder of the new chapter in his life. August took her hand and smiled, feeling a profound sense of contentment. "Here's to new beginnings," August said, raising his glass in a toast. Ellen clinked her glass with his, her eyes reflecting the same hope and joy. "To new beginnings and the strength to overcome." As the sun set over the park, casting a golden hue over the gathering, August felt a deep sense of closure and renewal. The trials and tribulations of the past months had led to a clearer understanding of himself and the people around him. The small details that had once seemed insignificant had come together to form a picture of redemption and new beginnings. The story of August Murray's journey, from facing false accusations and personal challenges to finding love and professional success, concluded on a note of hope and fulfillment. The public scandal had faded, but the support from his family, friends, and the community had remained steadfast.